So for add, we have around 4 choices. We can add, when we say add, we can add the files, we can add videos, we can add documents, we can add a lot of things. We can even add links to that. All right, links, audios, application software. We can add installers for software there. We can add a lot of things. We can add patches, hacks. We can add games. We can add so much more than you could actually expect. It's amazing how many things you can add here. So we have 4 ways to add that, to add materials there. We can add from Google Drive, which means anything that you have in your Google Drive, you can actually add to your material. And this also means that whatever you add from your Google Drive will now be available for viewing for your students. And those materials will be available for editing for your co-teachers and you. All right? Again, whatever you share from your Google Drive will from now on, from the moment you click on post, will then be um, available for viewing for your students, and it will be available for editing for you and for your co-teachers. All right? Remember that. So don't post anything personal, or if something is important for you, you can at least duplicate it first before you share the duplicate. All right? So we don't get cases of lost data or wasted documents, something like that. So you can do that. Work with duplicates. Always prepare for the worst that can happen. This is online, but it doesn't mean that everything is insured. All right? So let me show you if internet permits, maybe I can show you how I can add something from my Google Drive at least. So let's try that. So here I have recent files that I have added to my Google Drive. I can upload something from my device. I'm not going to do that. I have my drive, which allows me to open my Google Drive and actually choose something there. And starred, it depends on if I have anything starred or marked in my Google Drive, which I don't recall doing ever. Alright. So here in recent, I currently have the ICT document that I created earlier in Google Docs. I have the list of students, you guys. When you chose your modalities, I have lots of forms. I have the things you submitted to me, the things you guys submitted to me. I have all of that. And I have parts of your modules, I think, around here. So that I can select any of that and it will work. Or I can go to my drive. Let's see if it opens. I think yes. Okay. So here are my folders. I can select anything there. Let's just say I want to select this. This is interesting. This is a RAR file or a zip file. This one that looks like an arrow with an equal sign at the top. So this is actually a zip file that contains installers for Flashback Pro. Flashback Pro is a screen recording application. This is actually something that I saved for my co-teachers, so I can share it to them if they need it. So I can actually attach it to my as a material if I want. So to demonstrate that, I just have to click on this, and as you can see, I have this here. It says one selected. So if I click on another one, let's just say this is my portfolio. I'm just going to click on that. I have 2 selected now. So this one is a PDF file. So now, if I go back to recent, and if I select another one, let's see what happens. Will it make 3 selected, or will it go back to 1 selected again? So see, you can add one. You can add one group per tab. All right. So that's something we need to learn. You can only add one group for tab. It doesn't matter how many things or how many attachments you add from one tab, but if you want to add other files from another tab, you have to click on Insert first, go back to Google Drive, then add it again from that tab. Right? So let's just say I want to insert this document, insert, then I want to go back to my drive and insert the Flashback installer again. So to do that, I will click on Add Google Drive. I need to go back here, around this part. Let's wait for it. My drive. And again, I want to insert my portfolio and that installer, right? So we need to add that. There we go. So here, there's my portfolio, and there's the installer. So one has to be two selected. There we go, two selected. Now click on Insert. Then there we have it. Those are my materials. Next, I think we have other features here. We can add a link to it. Let's try. So link, I want to add a link. So it will only give me this pop-up that asks for a link to be pasted or typed into a text box. So to do that, if I don't have any links prepared right now, so I'm just going to go with ICT from Wikipedia. So I think that works. ICT, then I will just quickly grab the link, then go back, ICT, Wikipedia. I think I'm going to go with this Information and Communication Technology from Wikipedia. So right click, copy link address. Right, so I'm going back here, original tab, then I'm just going to paste it. I think that I did it right. Copy link address, right? There we go. See? So there's my link. Now that I'm satisfied with it, I would just click on add link. And just like that, we have a link. Fun. So here's a trick. If you're having trouble uploading anything from any of the other selection in add, just use add link. Alright? It can be a YouTube video. It can be a link from your drive. All you have to do is get the shareable link from those files, and you just have to paste it there in add link. That is the easiest escape route for you to finish your test quickly, because no one will know that you actually added it using a link. Alright, all they will see is the material that appears after that. There's no way to know if you actually added a link or an actual link by using the Google Drive feature or the YouTube feature. Alright? Remember that. It might come in handy soon. So now that we've successfully added this link, I think we can move on to adding a file from our device. So to select a file from our device, all we have to do is click on File. And as you can see, this window here is quite similar or familiar to you right now. It will be familiar. Just have to wait for it to load. See? Recent upload my drive start. That is the exact pop-up that appeared for your Google Drive display. So if you remember, we actually messed with recent and my drive for our demonstration for adding a folder from Google Drive, or files rather from Google Drive. So now I'm going to show you how to actually upload a file from your device. And when I say device, I mean my laptop, the computer, right? So I'm going to click on upload. And here we have browse or drag a file. So when I say browse, when it says browse, it doesn't mean browse the internet. It means browse your file directory. When I say file directory, I mean something that looks like this. This is your file directory. This is where you find all the files inside your computer. Alright? So this is what we call a file directory. So this is actually what this is talking about, this browse button over here, because if I click on this, a file directory window will appear. See? So that's what it means. And it will actually allow you to navigate through all your folders in your device. I can even add music if I want. Let's just say this masterclass. I think this will work. So here, I think that's small enough. So it's 61.4 megabytes. So as you can see, it will upload that fast. Or no, it will upload like that. It depends on your connection or the size of the file. This is a relatively small file. That's why it's taking it, well, that quick, that fast, I think. So it's 61.4. It depends. I'm actually recording this at midnight, so internet is quite fast at this time. So just a heads up, if you try to access the internet on dead hours, and when dead hours mean around from between 12 to 3 o'clock, the internet is actually very fast. So that's why I was able to upload 61.4 megabytes of data within a minute, less than a minute. That's the reason for that. So as you can see, I have that. So I'm still going to try drag and drop this time because we tried browsing, right? So I'm going to do drag and drop. And to do that, I'm just going to open my directory. So you can also try this if you're feeling lazy and you don't want to click on this or this to find your computer or my computer, the my computer button. You can actually click on Windows. Windows is the button that looks like a Windows logo. The button that looks like this one. You can click on this on your keyboard and and click on E. I'm sorry, I just spoke people. That's annoying. So just the shortcut for opening your file directory is Windows E. All right, Windows E. So Windows button E is equal to opening your file directory. The more you know. So again, let's repeat that. Windows E. There we go. So now I just want to find something. Like, let's pretend I'm going to find a picture. I think we can find something here. I think this is cool. This will be just a picture. Yeah, this one. I think this is nice. Yeah, I'm going to drag and drop this picture from this file directory to this window, right? To this area over here. And to do that, all I have to do is click on this, then drag, rather. Filipino accent is strong. Okay, so just again, what did I do? Click, drag, let go. As you can see, it's uploading now. And close, and there we go. Here is my picture that I actually dragged and dropped here. Right? So now, as you can see, I've already taught you how to upload files from your Google Drive, how to add a link, how to upload a file from your device by using the browse button and using drag and drop. And finally, now I will teach you how to add a YouTube video, right? Because for a YouTube video, you can easily just take the email and take the URL of the video and paste it in the link. I won't know the difference, actually. Honestly, I won't know the difference if you added a video by pasting the link in the link or actually using the YouTube button here. I won't know the difference. So it's up to you, right? So just click on that. I'm going to show you just this, you know, for the sake of showing you, because it actually has some really cool features. Because inserting a YouTube video into your material has two types or two ways. It presents you with two ways. You can either do an actual video search in the pop-up toolbar, and by searching here, it's technically simulating how to search in the actual from the actual YouTube page, right? So example, if I look for ICT, information communication technology, if I type that and click on search, I will actually be given the same results that I will get if I search for this in the actual YouTube channel or YouTube page. Alright, so we have what is ICT. Let's just select a cool one. I think this looks nice. So I'm going to click on this, then click on add. And just like that, this is added to my materials. Now I'm going to show you the second way to find a YouTube video or to add a YouTube video. And the second way is to add the URL, right? We have URL here. So technically, you're just pasting a YouTube link. So I'm going to find, just like YouTube, then I'm going to communication. Let's look for that. Then I will be sent here in this window, right? In this page. If it loads, let's see. There we go. So ICT for education. Oh, this is nice. The impact of technology on communication. This is nice. So this is actually from TED Talks too, which is very interesting. You guys should listen to this. Okay, so TED Talks are cool. So to do that, I just have to the easiest way to get the URL for a YouTube video is not by clicking on it, but clicking on it works too. But I was planning to show you how to actually do it the fast way, right? Faster. So you can actually just right click on this and click on copy link address, and you will be given this link if you paste this here. There you go, the URL. Or you can also click on the ellipsis. Every video has an ellipsis. This one. So click on this. As you can see, we have add to queue, save to watch later. Oh, let's see. For phones, it actually presents a shareable link here, but I think, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought the browser would actually present the same thing. So apparently not. So we just have to open this. If we open this, I think we have a share button below. There we go. There's the share button. Just click on the share button. Okay, for those of you who use a phone, you can easily get the shareable link just by clicking on the ellipsis at the right side of the video of the video icon when you search for it. You don't have to open it to get the shareable link. All right, you just have to click on the ellipsis, click on share, then get the URL. There we go. So here in share, if you click on that, you will be given this pop-up window. So just as you can see, this is the YouTube URL or the YouTube link for the video. So you just have to copy this thing, then go back to your classroom and paste it. So this and this is actually the same. The only difference is this is the shorter version, which is very good for sharing, right? For posting on social media or for emailing. It's shorter and it's less likely to be wrong, right? So as you can see, there we go. We even have the preview for the video. So that's nice. So now we just have to click on add. And just like that, we now have this this video from YouTube. So that is how you make materials, or that is how you add materials and create materials rather. So now we're going to put another thing here. Okay, so now we have to select a topic, because by default a material doesn't have a topic. So to select a topic, we just have to click on this, and if you already have your topics, they will appear here. So you can see week 1 and week 2. But if you haven't created a topic yet, you just went straight to making your material, you can click on create topic, and that will work. You will be given the same pop-up window that appeared earlier, and you just have to click, just type away, right? But for the sake of example, I will first click on week 1, then click on post. Then we wait. There we go. As you can see, if I selected week 1 and I decided to place lesson 1 information, this material under it, but I can actually change it easily. I can either open it again, edit, then change it here, then click on save. That will work. See? Or we can do it the fastest way, which is just by simple drag and drop. Here, see? Or we can even put it outside. If it permits. There. Okay, so apparently it doesn't want to at this time, but you can do that, right? You can easily put it outside if you want. So now that we're done with materials, I think what we need to do now is, excuse me, I just have to check your module. Next thing you need to do is to create an assignment. Alright. Materials, attachments, yes, assignments. So to create an assignment, it's easy. You just have to click on create, then obviously assignment. So all right. So assignments are obviously tasks. Sometimes I often use assignments for tasks and activities. So I put it there. And there's a huge difference between a quiz assignment and just an assignment, because a quiz assignment actually has a default Google quiz inside it, and a Google quiz is a converted Google form. And when you use a quiz assignment, you actually have to be very careful not to delete the default form or quiz inside, because that form or quiz is actually linked to the program itself. If you replace that with another form, it will actually sever that link between Google Classroom and the quiz, and you will have a harder time scoring your students and recording their grades, right? But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the quiz, the assignment rather, first, right? So assignments, again, I told you, is about tasks. So here you can just put your title or activity here. Let's just say I want to make them write an essay, right? So let's just say essay number 1, right? Essay for week 1 rather. Okay, essay for week 1. Instructions. So write an essay explains what ICT is for you. Yeah, or information. Rather, the topic is about information. There you go. Write an essay that explains what information is for you. So there's the instruction. So now I have two choices. I can either let my students upload a document where they type the essay and give it to me, and I will open it by using the adapting feature of Google Docs to open Word documents, or I can actually set up an actual Google Doc for them to type in, which will be actually easier in the long run for me, right? So for this, um, I'm going to create a document where they can type their answer. You can also use a form for this, but I just want to demonstrate how you can create documents that you can actually modify for your students. Right. So this will be their output for their essay for week number 1. So what I plan to do is to change this to essay for week number 1 here. Then I just want to put the instructions here again for them. So I'm going to copy this. Then we wait. Right. So now that's okay. Then all you have to do is paste. Well, all I have to do is you can actually change um this title if you want, because the thing is with these type of assignments, all right, I forgot to explain it to you. All right, there are two ways for you to actually use Google Documents or anything that you do using Google applications in an assignment. The first thing is by actually just putting a more elaborate, more detailed version of your instructions inside a document, and that document can be viewed by your student. All they can do is view. They cannot edit, they cannot do anything. All they have to do is view. Alright, you can do that. Or you can also put this. So if you just want your students to view it, you just have to keep this the way it is. Students can view the file. So obviously the students can only see what's inside the file. They cannot change anything. Now the second way for you to control the usage of this document is students can edit the file. What this means is that all the students can edit the file together simultaneously at the same time, if that's not redundant to you. Alright? So the thing about this is students can actually change the input from another student. So it's not very secured, but if you want to group your students, if you want to make your students group themselves, this is a very good way to do it. Or if you want your students to make something like a group work, that's really good too. Or a vote, a transparent voting system, that can also work, but I think it will spark some arguments with your students, but it will work too. But the most common way for me to use this is by using the third choice, which is make a copy of for each student. So what this does is, whatever your document is, it will obviously make one copy for each student, and that copy for the student will actually be named after them. Alright? So that's very nice. Oh, I forgot. For the second choice, which is students can edit the file, if your students actually deleted the entire thing, there's no way for you to retrieve that data. So it's your choice. So again, I'm going to settle with make a copy for each student. And if I entitle this with this essay for week 1, if a student actually edits their version and submits it, what will happen here is that their name will be placed here. An example is Juan de la Cruz dash essay for week 1. That's what's going to happen here. All right. So again, I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to select the instructions. I'm going to paste this here again. And then I wait. So just make sure that this says save to drive. When As long as this says save to drive, alright, all changes save to drive, you're safe. Then you can close this. And this will be okay. So make a copy for each student. Nice. Then we have due date. You can set a due date here. I usually set your assignments to 2 weeks from now. So I'm just going to use this, I think. And by default, it's 1 minute before midnight. So that will work. For topic, I can just select a topic as we usually do. Then for rubrics, you can make your rubrics if you want. It will really help you with grading, especially if we're dealing with essays, right? So we can create a rubric. We can put our, for example, what can we have? Grammar, for example. There we go. So for 1 point, so level title, okay. Then for 2 points, we have nice. For 3 points, for the grammar, we have good. 4 points, we have very good. And for 5, we have excellent. Just like that. So if you're the teacher, this will come in handy if you're actually grading your students and if you don't want to grade them blindly, right? This can be used for grading essays and stuff, activities, videos they submit. It will work like that. Then we click on save. Then we close this. As you can see, we now have a rubric with 1 criterion. So we can put other criterions if we want. I just don't have the time. So if I remove this, the student will be forced to upload an output. And you can put that here actually. Please upload and output something. You can put your instructions here. As long as the students will get clear instructions, it will be good. Right? So that's how you make assignments. We click on assign, then we'll be good to go. There we go. So as you can see, we now have essay for week 1, lesson 1. If you want this to be placed below the lesson, you just have to drag and drop. There we go. See? Easy. So now, to edit it again, we just have to edit, delete. It will work like that. It's easy. So you can figure it out. So next, what we have next? The assignments, manage assignments, deleting, creating a question. Okay, so last thing I will teach you is actually how to create a question. So again, create question. So yeah, you just have to put a question there. So can you use a computer? So you can answer the question. Yes or no. Comment below. Right? So this is cool. So if you post a question, the students can reply to each other, which will actually trigger some discussions. It can let you have discussions within your classroom, which is very nice and very good for your students. And your students can also edit the answer, which can be sometimes problematic, especially if there are arguments and they removed all traces of that argument. This will be very difficult. So I suggest don't click on this, but click on this if you want to have if you have enough time to read through all of them. So this is an open-ended question, but you can also have a multiple choice question if you want. All you have to do is select multiple choice. See, short answer, multiple choice. I selected multiple choice this time. So we have option 1, option 2. So we just have to remove this. Click on your answer. There we go. Now, for option 1, we have yes. And we have no. Then for this, let's just say our due date will be tomorrow. Right, tomorrow. At 12 or at 11:30 a.m. Right, let's see if that works. So now, let's just try not putting a topic. Let's see what happens. Right, we're going to click on ask. And that saves your entire question. As you can see, it appears at the top because it doesn't have a topic to belong to. So if you want it to appear below, you just have to drag and drop it. Alright? So I think that's all we need to teach you about classrooms. Right, in your module, there are troubleshooting instructions for you guys, so you can read that if you're having troubles with your classroom. And there are also instructions on how to manage your classroom as a teacher in your mobile application, right? So I hope you learned something. Thanks for listening. Bye.